It is great to have you back here on our channel. Eric Clapton has confirmed a terrible truth, and today we will explore the truth. Clapton has won countless accolades in the hearts of music lovers throughout his career. But his story has a secret side as well. In what ways might Clapton's confession change our perception of him? Let's delve into his story and find out what the songs are really about. Just picture yourself as a kid, thinking your family is the typical nuclear unit with parents and siblings. Then, out of nowhere, everything changes. Eric Clapton, when he was younger, experienced precisely that. The revelation that his grandparents are actually his parents and that his sister is his biological mother came as a shock to him when he was a preteen. Surprisingly, Eric's mother, Patricia, became pregnant with him when she was 16 years old, following a fortuitous meeting with a Canadian soldier named Edward Fryer during World War II. After his father passed away at the age of 85, Eric was never able to meet him. Fryer, who was a bit of a nomad, wound up performing piano in pubs following his time in the military. Eric's personality and academic performance were both impacted by this realization. And that's not surprising at all, is it? If you thought your entire family dynamic was a big secret, just try to picture it. This is straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. It was more than a small setback. It completely upended Eric Clapton's world. According to Bob Gulla's biography of guitar greats, Eric was this shy, reserved young man. After he found out the truth, though, things changed dramatically. His mood and demeanor suddenly changed, and he started to withdraw academically. One thing, though, was constant throughout this chaos: Eric's love for art. When he was 13 years old, he watched Jerry Lee Lewis amass an enormous fortune on television. Where does he fit in then? As one would expect, he requested a guitar as a birthday present. There were some bumps along the road. Getting the hang of playing was like stepping on a minefield. It was difficult and hurt. A renewed love for blues music gave Eric the will to keep trying. And you know what? You won't even notice when he's ripping those strings like an expert. When Eric Clapton's guitar playing improved dramatically, his enthusiasm for art school waned. In Bob Gulla's depiction, a man who is no longer invested in his job gradually reduces his output until he is fired. Going to art school isn't necessary if you're going to be a rock star, is it? He acts like an adult by day, working for his grandpa and helping out with the bills. In his spare time, though, he's performing with a band and living the dream. His debut performance with the Roosters was brief, but it was a beginning. Then destiny had other plans for him when he ran into Keith Relf, a classmate from art school. Paul Samuel Smith, yet another blues enthusiast, was approached as a result. Sonically similar to the Rolling Stones, Eric finds himself playing in the Yardbirds before he knows it. I mean, the Stones Club was actually where they performed. The world took notice of him when he became a member of the Blues Breakers. Before the arrival of Cream, this man was on the verge of becoming a guitar god. Are they familiar to you? Without a doubt, you have. These were enormous. I'm talking massive, all over the globe. Also, that Clapton piece is a work of art. It was more than vandalism. The prophecy came true, but fame does not come cheap. The heroin was the vehicle for this transformation for Clapton. Indeed, what you heard was accurate. His infatuation grew in tandem with his star power. He develops feelings for Pattie Boyd, the wife of his friend George Harrison. Just when you think things are getting messy, you could slice through the viscosity of the tension. Later on, Boyd even spilled the beans about how Clapton confessed his love to Harrison while drunk. What would it be like? The outcome was less than desirable, as expected. The marriage between Harrison and Boyd clung to for dear life, while Clapton battled addiction for years. While rumors circulated that George Harrison was cheating on his wife Pattie Boyd, Eric Clapton was struggling with his own personal issues. The Telegraph reports that Boyd turned down Clapton at first due to his heroin addiction. The marriage of Boyd and Harrison was beginning to crumble when Clapton made the decision to straighten up his own life. Boyd and Clapton became an item after Harrison was all but cast out. Nothing was peachy about Clapton's recent sobriety. He may have kicked heroin, but he made brandy his new daily habit instead. Plus, they were unable to conceive despite their shared desire to do so. Then the devastating news broke. There were two affairs involving Clapton. The first was with Lori Del Santo, an Italian model who became pregnant with his son Connor. The second one had a daughter, Ruth, with a studio assistant. I can understand why. Boyd uprooted her life, and discovered a new line of work. But hold on a second. Clapton's drug usage was extreme. He reportedly spent a whopping $16,000 weekly on heroin, according to NPR. His cocaine and alcohol binges persisted even after he stopped using needles. At one point, he was so embarrassed by his stage presence that he even performed while lying down. What would it be like? Then, in an unexpected turn of events befitting a blockbuster film, the moment Clapton became a father, everything shifted. He was worried his son would see him inebriated, and now he had a helpless little human being relying on him. His next move was to do the unthinkable. He woke up. Indeed, he entered a rehabilitation center and has since not returned. Tragically, just as Clapton was beginning to feel some improvement in his health, another devastating setback occurred. The unfathomable occurred in 1991. Tragically, his 4-year-old son Connor fell 49 stories to his death after rushing past a housekeeper and slipping through an open window. Having taken Connor to the circus the night before, Clapton was in New York when this happened. In his memoirs, he detailed the dreamlike stroll down Park Avenue, during which he fervently attempted to reassure himself that everything was fine. But how does one go on after suffering such a devastating loss? Bewilderment hung over everything, even after finding Connor's lifeless body amidst the mayhem. This unfathomable loss understandably shattered Clapton. As a means of coping with his loss, he composed Tears in Heaven, a deeply moving and evocative work. Another insight came to light as he battled this tremendous agony. After Connor passed away, he was finally able to establish a relationship with Ruth, Clapton's secret daughter, whom he had previously avoided. The subsequent years of Clapton's life improved, despite the turbulent journey characterized by unstable relationships, addiction, and unfathomable loss. His marriage to American Melia McHenry, which began in 2002, has brought him much joy. The couple's 3 daughters have made Clapton a happy family man, and their life together has been full of blessings. When his eldest daughter Ruth gave birth to little Isaac Eric Owen Bartlett in 2013, he also became a grandfather. Eric Clapton has lately dealt with health issues he was able to avoid before, despite the fact that his family life is stable. The musician's worst nightmare, peripheral neuropathy, which he revealed to the public in 2016, causes numbness, shooting pains, and impaired coordination. The Guardian dubbed it as such. The fact that Clapton had the disease in his legs instead of his hands has led many to believe that his long history of alcoholism is to blame, rather than the physical demands of performing. In addition to his other health problems, Clapton was also dealing with hearing loss, according to a 2018 Time magazine article, a sickness that many veteran musicians suffer from. Recognizing that his condition might not get better, Clapton keeps a realistic view on his future despite the gloomy prognosis. However, there have been some public gaffes and regrets along Clapton's journey. His humiliating display of drunkenness at a 1976 concert in Birmingham, England, put him at rock bottom long before his redemption. Critics and fans were shocked by his racist and xenophobic tirade. The impact of his words was demonstrated by the Rock Against Racism movement, which was spurred by the aftermath of this ugly incident. Today, Clapton admits the shame of his previous actions and expresses profound regret for his disgusting outburst. Over the years, he has publicly apologized for his mistakes and accepted responsibility. Clapton told Rolling Stone, "I just have to face the guy that I became when I was fueled by drugs and alcohol," reflecting on his past self. "I'm so confused because I went so far out." Is Eric Clapton's journey something you can relate to? Leave a comment below to share your thoughts.